good recording of the
You
a good
probably
recording of
do.
the trust triangle. So we should I'll dig that up and send it your way, and then we can review it and then revamp it.
Because I do
Um,
I do need to send this out to some folks pretty quickly.
it's super important. Actually, the trust triangle, what we're about to learn,
Mhm.
is is really important. It's funny because once I learned it, it's really easy for me to communicate to my partner Christine, anybody in my like close sphere of influence that I really want to communicate with. Using the trust triangle is huge for that. And so we're going to get into it. So basically, the friends is our contacts, whether it's cold market or warm market, where people we already know or people that we're going to meet. So where Katie has the word friends, we're going to put contacts, just people that we're meeting in our journey. And then you, of course, are at the top, and you can draw a circle around you. So put you and then like a heart actually around you, because like without you, there is no trust or any of that kind of stuff. Okay, perfect. There we go. And then also now beside Katie or the word me, I'll put the word expert. So an expert is classified as anything or anybody other than us. Okay, as soon as we look like we're the experts, then we're going to be fire hosing people. There you go. So you, contacts, friends, and then experts. And Katie's our number one expert. Would you guys agree that every time we ask Katie a question related to LifeWave, she's pretty good at getting the answer? If not, can get it pretty quickly, or knows who to get us connected with to get those answers. So that's Katie kind of using and leveraging the trust triangle. So let's get into it. So basically, right now, on the line, basically between you and say Katie and you and the expert, I want you to write the word respect. You guys all respect Katie? High level of respect there. And over the time of us all growing together, actually, we've also learned to trust Katie. So on the same line, but under the word respect, put the word trust. Because Katie, we have trust and we have respect. Okay, so now what we're going to do is from you to Katie's friends. So that one on the, I guess it'd be the right that I'm looking at anyways. I may be reversed, but maybe not. So on the one between you and your contacts, what you want to put in there is um, you want to put trust on that line. And I'm going to explain this in a minute. And then on the line from your contacts to Katie or our expert, you want to put the word respect. And then I'm going to explain a few things, and you guys are going to understand this. You're going to be like, oh, God, that makes sense. Okay, there we go. That's exactly it. Okay, so I'm not saying that we don't respect our friends and the people that we meet. It's just in the beginning, basically, in the beginning of a relationship, I'm sure you guys have all experienced this. In the beginning of a relationship, say I'm taking someone out on the first date. Well, we have like what's called mutual respect. When you guys meet somebody for the first time, there's like a mutual respect. Would you guys agree?
Yes.
Never really, yeah, it's just already there. And so basically, when you introduce someone to Katie, what's going to happen is that mutual respect is going to be there. They don't know who she is, so they're going to show up on their best foot forward. She doesn't know who they are, so she's going to show up on her best forward. So basically, on that line between you and Katie, there's basically a little bit of respect there between the new people that you're bringing to her or to the team. And then on the line from you to basically your friends, they trust you. Otherwise, they wouldn't say yes if you invite them. So you have a trust. And I'm going to give you an example. So say I meet Christine, and this didn't happen because I've learned my lesson. But let's just say I meet Christine and she's like, oh, let's go out on a first date. We're going to go out for coffee and then we're going to go for a walk on the beach. And I'm like, okay, that sounds good. So I shave and she shaves and she puts on her nice summer outfit and I put on a little cologne and we all look good and fancy and we go and we're like getting to know each other. Okay. So we don't trust each other yet because we don't know each other, but there's a mutual respect. And then we end up having dinner and it's great. And we're on the beach afterwards and it's a little bit cold. And I notice that she's cold in her summer dress. So I'm like, oh my goodness, I notice you're cold. Here, let me take my coat off, keep you warm. You know, the classic gentleman thing to do on the cold beach, especially if her nipples get a little hard, got to cover those up. So basically, and that can happen in this day and age. I don't know if you guys know, but the whole braless thing's a new trend. But that's another topic.
think Anna
Oh.
lost her tea there.
Hey, we got to keep it real. So, so basically, so there we are on that first date, and I'm like building that trust up. But basically, what happens over a period of time with our friends, you guys, is the respect starts to wear off. That's why we only have the word trust on that line. And I'll give you an example. Let's just say we hook up. We end up on that beach multiple times. 3 years later, we're on that same beach and she's cold. And I'm like, I told you to bring a coat. It was going to be cold. So our dialogue changes because the respect starts to wear off in our relationships the more we complacently get to know people. We just think we know who they are. All of a sudden, it's just kind of the respects. We fart in bed, for example. Like, how many people, when you meet someone, you don't fart around them until you're comfortable around them? Okay, that's a perfect example of how the respect wears off. You guys picking up what I'm laying down? So that's why when we try and tell people about LifeWave, when we try and basically repeat back what we thought we heard from one of the experts or from Katie, their eyes glaze over. It's because they trust us, but they don't respect our opinions, if that makes sense. It's like, I know for me, for sure, as like surfer guy, like for me to be talking about like LifeWave patches and things like that would be like actually kind of strange. I should be talking about waves and wind and what kind of surfboard we're riding and all that kind of stuff. So it's like learning how to navigate our communication, if that makes sense. So why the trust triangle is super important is because we need to get our people to the tools and the experts. And the experts could be videos. Katie wants to make a bunch of videos. That's a perfect example. Could remember we did the training on the if I would you. If I would send you the video, would you watch it? So once we have the tools, the expert, the little booklet that I got in the mail, courtesy of Michelle and Katie, like those are all tools that we can use. I always say if I'm not pointing at a piece of paper, okay, like you can be a quasi expert in the beginning, but you only ever want to answer two questions. Katie, do you want to talk a little bit about the why we only want to maybe answer two questions?
Yes, and I want to make sure to remember to come back around to like say that Anna has a friend and she introduces me to them and then I invite them to an opportunity versus her inviting them to an opportunity. So,
Yep.
but before that, yes, I often have shot myself in the foot because I'll answer more than two questions. And even if you know more than two answers, it really is valuable to get people to the team because then they see that there's more support. And then one thing is that a lot of people view me as the expert. You just said it yourself, Chad. And because of that, people look at me and they're like, I can't do what she does. I can't do what Katie does. So I'm not even going to try. And so now I've just actually shot myself in the foot because all the people on my team are like, I can't be like Katie. And so I'm just not going to try. And so realistically, it's best if we only answer two questions. And even I did that with my new people today. They've been on the team for a little over a month. And I said, they haven't met with me until today since they've gotten their patches and they're having great results and all these things. And I said, it's really important to get people to the team for those first couple of um, just getting people educated and understanding. And the first couple of times that you get people started, it really is important for me to learn from somebody that's already done it. I'm a kinesthetic learner. And so I like to see it be done and then I like to do it myself. So I'm visual and kinesthetic. So I think that when we can bring other people in, they can assess things differently from more of an observer's perspective and give our contacts what they really need.
Exactly. It always ties into that, basically that communication we learned about wanting to help people become self-educated to be making an educated decision. And I'm your friend, not your expert. If I start trying to tell you what I thought you heard, we're going to lose our friendship. Does that make sense? So what I heard you say is that you're interested in the business opportunity. And I know there's a business call that I can invite you to. That's one thing. I also know there's a 10-minute training on the compensation plan. I know that Katie's really well endowed on like how to draw out your hearts and get your products paid for and like how to duplicate like the beginning stages of getting your business started. So all of those would be tools at our disposal that we could use so that we can just guide people rather than be the expert itself. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, you guys. Any questions so far? Let's just open it up and see if anybody's got any questions. No? Okay, perfect. So as Katie
So,
would, oh,
okay,
just really
okay.
quick, I was just going to say, so as we're getting people to the expert or the education to help them become self-educated, it's usually six or seven small agreements before they'll make a major decision. And so if somebody's interested in learning more about a particular patch or patch placement, you can send them to the video where it talks about that, or, there's open up the booklet that you have and you can point and say, okay, which one of these would you really like to take care of? And then they'll point and you say, great. So you want better sleep and you want let them guide through the expert, which could be the book. It could be Katie. It could be all of that. I've learned the hard way by being the expert and then trying to fire hose my friends and family. And it never, ever, ever, not once did it work out.
Also, I like what you said there too, Chad, about the 6 to 7 educational experiences before invite, because that's one thing that I often do is I don't give enough educational experiences or I give a few educational experiences and then I never contact them again. And so,
Oh yeah, the follow through.
yeah. But also before going into, because I think that there is magic in, say that like maybe um Anna's friend wants to get started, and so she introduces them to me, and then we do a brief overview. And I have been creating faster overviews, or like 10 minutes, and either geared towards products or towards business. And we can do them one on one and also create a recording. And I feel that there's a lot of value in like if I invite Anna's person to look at her website versus her, because then it's a different level of she gets to remain friends. Would you be willing to elaborate on that?
I will, exactly. It's almost like this, like both of you, like maybe Kathy has or has not, but I'm not sure. But Anna and Lori, both of you guys have like gone to one of Katie's booths at like a weekend or an event, correct, to help her? Yeah. So have you noticed how it's easier for us to be Katie's expert than her herself? Like it's way easier for us to sell Katie's stuff than her trying to sell her stuff. So when we're there for her, like being like, "Oh my God, look at this tie-dye. Katie's amazing, blah blah blah." It's like it's so much easier for us to direct people rather than like Katie being her own expert trying to sell her own stuff, for example. You guys know what I mean? Like it's just so much more natural for us to say, "Oh my God, you know what? Like what I heard you say is that you're interested in making some extra income. I'm just getting started myself. I'm hardly an expert, but can I get you connected to my friend Katie? Because she'll be able to at least answer some of the basic questions that you have. And that'll get us started on the right foot." And they're going to say, sure. Why would they not say sure? And then like Katie's been doing the business now for a few years. She's making like 1,000 or 1,500 bucks a month. I'm pretty sure up right now, and that's like just getting started. We're just getting started. So I don't know if an extra 1,000 bucks a month would help you out, but I may as well get you connected to someone who's already doing it. I'm not doing it yet, so I'll get you connected to someone who is, and then we'll just do what she did, and we'll get the same result.
And I think
Yeah.
that for me, it feels so just knowing that, like, when it comes to, let's say, warm market, I feel that I am pretty comfortable in talking to everybody. But I know that in the beginning, it was really hard to be like, even my mom is sharing with my sister April. In the beginning, I would have been like, oh, and now I'm like kind of the expert. My mom's the one sharing, right? And I feel like I wouldn't have invited, say I was my mom, I wouldn't have invited somebody the opportunity because I'd be too scared. but say that I'm the now expert, so I can invite April to the opportunity to check out my mom's website and see if this is something for her. So we are talking
Yeah.
now, and April's reached out to me and she's like, "This is my experience." And I said, "Well, what are you looking for?" Because I don't know what she's looking for. Her and my mom have had the conversations. And so now I can be the one to help if April and when April wants to get started, I can say, okay, let me
Yeah.
guide you through a health assessment and let's see where you want to go. And I can help you get started on her team. So then say that my mom's not my mom and my sister's not my sister, they're friends. Then if for some reason April was like, oh, I don't want to get started, she wouldn't have any negative feelings towards Kathy, right? Because
Mm,
it'd be like,
yeah,
oh, Katie's the one that invited her to the opportunity, not Kathy. And so I think
that's
there's a
right.
lot of value in that too.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that part actually. That's what's nice about the trust triangle is kind of like if we invite our contacts directly to the thing and they don't like what they see, then it creates an energy in the relationship. Whereas basically if Katie or an expert invites them to something, then basically what they'll do is they'll still like you. They just may not like what the expert says. So it helps us get out of the way. It's so true. And then on that point, Katie, too, I know that Brilliant Compensation and the movie Rise of the Entrepreneur are two expert driven tools that people should be actually getting people to watch before they get them to you.
If
I
they
learned
want to
that,
build a business, right?
yep, if these are people who are interested in residual income or wanting to like, and remember, we all need a couple business builders. So basically, we're looking for people who want to start to create some side income or some income from home or some cyclical income, residual income, some passive income, some extra traveling money, whatever it is. Maybe they want their student loan, just kind of find out where they're at and what they're looking for. And, ask them if they're open to alternative streams or multiple streams of income. They'll probably say yes. Actually, I've never met one person. I said, hey, excuse me, are you open to multiple streams of income? No one says no to that.
I have to say we went to San Diego with Chad, and we would just ask people the random questions everywhere we went, and we would like guess what colors they were on the color code. And it was so much fun. Like, honestly, not to be
Mm.
rude, but I'm never going to meet those people. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll change their lives, but maybe I'll never meet those people again. And honestly, even when it comes to friends, I told my psychologist, I'm getting better at setting boundaries, and I want no to be
Yeah.
a full answer. And she said, what if it's not? And I said, I might offend them. And she said, what's going to happen then? I started crying and I said, they're not going to like me. And she said, it's okay, Katie, there's a million people out there. So it's not to be mean or anything like that towards anybody. It's just that there's a million people out there that do want to be my friend and do want my help and do want to help themselves. And I want to work with those people. So really quick, Chad, do we have more to say on the trust triangle? Because I do want to stop it so I don't have to try to figure out how to cut videos
Okay, you can
later.
stop that if you'd like.
Perfect. And then I'm going to start again.